Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jackson.
Top Notch Sports. Today, we're going to be going over the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency frenzy, where we're going to break down the Steelers and what we think they're going to do this upcoming free agency. Again, not a lot of money, but if they follow some guidelines that maybe we presented in the salary review video that we're going to put in the comment section below, they can free up some cap. And another thing I want to mention real fast before you guys don't click that link and go and watch that video, that was made about 33 days ago. So the numbers are slightly off. Big Ben is restructuring his contract, and I'm putting his contract right around 25, 26, maybe $27 million, which is a huge cut. That's like a 15, 14, $13 million savings, cap savings, right? If he does choose to do that. So that's that for one. Number two, that video, when it was made 30 days ago, since then, the NFL has increased the salary cap by at least $10 million. With that being stated, the number is going to be off by $10 million. So when you watch that video, just add $10 million to the salary cap that we have you guys doing. Now, let's get this thing going. So look, the Pittsburgh Steelers, currently, right now, this second, without Big Ben restructuring his contract, without him taking the pay cut that we know that he's going to take, because that's what he said, they are negative $8 million, $8.5 million. I think that Big Ben is going to take about a 15, 14, maybe $13 million pay cut. Okay, simple math here. That puts them around positive $7-ish million, in my opinion. Okay, 7, maybe 6, 5, right around there. Okay, that's where they're going to be around, and just what I'm going with right away. So that's number one. The second thing I think you guys should probably do, and this is just me, I think you guys got to cut some players that are really not huge for this football team. So you look at your roster, you look at who you can save by making some cuts, and the first guy that comes to mind, not going to save a lot, but going to save you some money, is, let me see real fast, I have you guys cutting Vince Williams. You cut Vince Williams, okay? Now, that doesn't really hurt you guys too much, in my opinion, okay? You cut Vince Williams, you guys are still looking pretty dang good. The last thing you guys might want to look into is looking at your cornerback room. Steven Nelson and Joe Hayden both played very good this year, but between the two of them, you can save about $20 million. I'm not going to touch those two in this video. I think you guys got to keep them. You got to keep your cornerback room good and make one more strong push with Big Ben before he officially retires. That's just my opinion. So you keep those two, but you look at them, you say, are they worth $20 million combined? That's something to look into. So you save about $14, $15 million by restructuring Big Ben, and you save $4 million with Vince Williams. Right now, that puts you around 10-ish, 12-ish million dollars in salary cap right off the shenanigans, just like that. So Jackson, let me know what you think about the state of the team right now following those moves.
I really think this team, it's not really in a good spot, especially the offensive side of the ball. You look at their offensive line, it's one of the main concerns I have. You just lost Marquise Pouncey. He's hanging them up, all right? You look at their tackles, they're really struggling there. So with this team, would you say $10 to $12 million? There's not really a lot of, guys you can get in free agency this year. Like we've been saying, it's a really deep tackle draft this year. So you definitely maybe want to nail a tackle in the draft this year. You look at the receivers, you got pretty solid receivers. Chase Claypool had a really nice rookie season. Deontay Johnson has shown some flashes. So you got a solid 1-2 punch there. You're losing Juju Smith-Schuster due to free agency. That's the guy who said he wants to be in Pittsburgh. He wants to retire as a Steeler. That's what he said. So I would definitely see this team maybe try to make a push to bring him back. Again, they're going to have to make some more money to do it. Like you said, though, about the corners, like you said, $20 million between Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson. Maybe Joe Hayden's getting up there in age. Maybe he's a guy that wants to win. Maybe that's a guy you see maybe get restructured or have a restructured contract. I could definitely see that happening. But you definitely look at the state of this team. There's definitely some question marks all over the place. It's just whether or how they address them, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm going to completely disagree with you with the Juju situation. I do not see them restructuring. I mean, bringing him back in. He's walked, and they got good enough receivers to replace him. They got Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington. He dug himself in the hole, and now he's going to have to go wherever the hell he wants to. I mean, you're dancing. I just forget about Juju. I don't see them bringing him back. They got a lot more needs that this team needs to make than bring back Juju Smith-Schuster. Their receiving room is one of the best rooms right now in football. I think that I would really take Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and James Washington over a lot of people. And then you also got Eric Ebron as your tight end. So between those guys, they had a little bit of a dropping problem, but besides that, they're solid. I'm a big fan of James Washington. Always was coming out of college, watching him and Mason Rudolph play. Chase Claypool, really good receiver, right? And Deontay Johnson, I think that this kid is one of the best route runners in football. Again, his problem is not always catching the football. Same thing goes with Eric Ebron. Great tight end, drops too many passes sometimes. So here's what you got to do. You got to really look at two things. Number one, you got to look at somebody like Matt Filer. You might want to try to bring back Matt Filer maybe on a pretty cheap deal. I mean, he's only asking probably for a 2-year, $12 million deal. That's $6 million in cap space. Bring him back. This guy can play, I'm pretty sure, a little bit of both guard and tackle for this football team. Maybe you plug him back in at right tackle this year because we don't really know your current situation with your offensive line. You need a center as well. Well, that's going to be the issue. You're going to have to find a center. Whether it's the draft or something, I don't know, but you're going to need to find a center, and you're going to have to find a left tackle. You're going to have to find 3 positions: center, right tackle, and left tackle. The other position that you need to pounce on this year in the draft is running back. I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing that you guys don't need a running back. You need a running back. It's time that you guys get a running back. I think you guys also need a middle linebacker and maybe an outside linebacker. So here's what I think you guys got to do. You guys got to nail the draft. You guys got to absolutely nail the draft. And I think you guys can do this. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. The first thing that you do is, I know it's not like the Steelers. And a lot of people don't like taking a running back in the first round. But I promise you, when I watch these 2 kids play, I don't care which one it is. I'm gonna lean towards more of one. But I liked a lot what I've seen from the little bit of film I've been watching on the other guy too. You guys got to go out and draft Najee Harris. Najee Harris will open up the run game so much. This guy, you guys might say, oh, I'm against taking a running back in the first round. Listen to me. You guys struggle at the position. I know you got to build offensive line. And this is a deep offensive tackle draft that you can establish in the second round. So you're going to wait on that. But right now, right away, I feel like you guys should definitely look into somebody like Najee Harris in the first round, or Travis Etienne, a little bit more of a pass catcher, but he's pretty damn phenomenal. You watch Clemson's film, Travis Etienne is one of the main reasons why Clemson won as many games as they did last season. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he looks good, but a lot of the times he's putting the ball in Travis Etienne's hands and letting him make a play. And I think this kid could also be special, especially if you're more of a passing team, which it looked like you guys were last year. But that was because you guys couldn't establish a run. It would be nice if you can have a really good power run game in Najee and open up the passing attack with Big Ben and whoever your future quarterback may be. So that's number one. I would draft Najee Harris. You guys are going to be kicking yourselves in the ass if you don't draft him this year in the first round. I'm telling you. Him or even Travis Etienne, I would take either. But I'll lean towards Najee Harris. Number 2, the second thing I want to look at is your left tackle position. I think you guys can draft someone like Jackson Carman in the second round. This kid, again, left tackle, come in. He can play right away for you guys. You guys got nobody better. You bring back someone like Matt Filer to play right tackle. You draft Jackson Carman in the second round, a pretty dang good left tackle. This guy, little shaky. He's a big guy. Power guy, likes to put all his force into people, good run blocker. The issue is he's not really a finesse guy. He likes to go all out and hit somebody. The issue is if he goes all out and he whiffs, the guy's coming right off the edge clean to hit your quarterback. Needs to work on his footwork, maybe his mechanics a little bit. I'll watch more film on this guy than like any other tackle because I'm excited to see what the Steelers do this year. Jackson Carman, big guy, loves to put his power and oomph behind it, but just might need to be a little bit more finesse, right? Needs to take that step back, be a little bit more flexible, do his things off the edge, be a little bit more flexible in the hips. That's the number one key at offensive tackle position, is having flexibility at your hips, being able to get outside and block those fast edge rushers, especially when you're in a division with somebody like Myles Garrett. So you got to really protect that. Besides that, I think the only other position I really look at this team and say you got to really establish is your middle linebacker position. And there's a guy in the third round I think you guys can draft. And this is a really deep draft I'm giving to you guys because you guys don't have a lot of money. And that guy's Baron Browning. This guy is a pretty good linebacker who I feel like can shut down anybody running, meaning Lamar Jackson in a quarterback spy. You put him on a quarterback spy. He did it all throughout college, this kid. He does a really, really good job shutting down the quarterback running out of the pocket. He's a really good quarterback spy. He comes up, makes nice hits. Baron Browning could be a very good third-round pick, middle linebacker for this team that you guys have been missing, honestly, since Ryan Shazier. You guys usually take a lot of linebackers. You guys usually take a defensive guy in the first round. Well, no, we're going to shake things up this year. We're going to go running back in the first. We're going to go left tackle in the second, and we're going to go Baron Browning in the third at middle linebacker. And then you look at the team. What's still weak? Well, in my opinion, there's really not too much that's weak. You establish your right tackle, you establish your left tackle, you establish a middle linebacker. Now you got to establish a center. That's something I'm going to leave up to you guys to do. I mean, you guys still got about $4 million maybe in free agency, maybe $4-ish, $3-ish million. Maybe you can sign someone really, really cheap to play center. I still think that you guys need a better center than that, but maybe you guys draft somebody in the fourth round. Maybe you don't take one of those picks. Maybe you don't take Baron Browning and take a center instead. But I think that is a really good mock draft for you guys as of right now. We'll do more of these leading towards the draft. But Jackson, go ahead. What do you think they should do here?
Honestly, there's a good chance. I mean, this could possibly be Big Ben's last year as a quarterback in the NFL. And if he's going to come back and take this pay cut that we're all predicting that he will do, I mean, this team's got to go all out. I mean, in my opinion, this team is a Super Bowl or bust team this year. I really like those draft picks you mentioned. Najee Harris was a hell of a running back over at Alabama. Carmen, he's a really good run blocker from what I've seen. Then Baron Browning's quick. He's going to help you stop Lamar Jackson, playing a quarterback spy. There's definitely some more needs, I think, on the offensive line. You definitely want to address the center, like you've said. And maybe you want to get another linebacker maybe later in the draft, or maybe you go out and get a cheap linebacker in free agency. So I have to wait and see what happens. This could be one of Big Ben's last years in the league. I think this team is Super Bowl or bust. Mike Tomlin, he needs to go out there and get the job done. Big Ben Roethlisberger needs to go get the job done. He's got the weapons. Najee Harris will definitely help in the run game, I think. As a power guy, he can go out there, he can run outside, he can run inside, and do whatever you need him to do. So I'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm a big fan of the Steelers team. I really want to see him go out and do something and make a big push. I would love to see Big Ben Roethlisberger go out with a bang. So I have to wait and see what happens. Got high hopes for the Steelers team. Let's see what happens.
I don't disagree with any of that. Like I said again, you look at that mock draft I gave to them. I feel like that is a plan no matter what you do in free agency. One thing you got to understand, everyone's saying, JJ, well, everyone wants to throw out these names, and I'm not saying that's not possible. I mean, you can go out and get JJ Watt, but Alex Highsmith played really good in relief of Bud Dupree. He played pretty dang solid. So you nailed that draft pick. And you got TJ Watt coming off the other side. Your defensive line's complete, ladies and gentlemen. You got to really attack that running back position, your offensive line, and the linebacker position. Your safeties, the same as last year. Terrell Edmonds, Minka. Your cornerbacks, same as last year. Maybe like Jackson said, maybe Joe Hayden or Steven Nelson take a little bit of a pay cut. They played great. Honestly, Joe Hayden played one of his best seasons, I think, in the last few years here. You need to draft that linebacker position. I really think that Baron Browning in the third, Jackson Carman in the second, and Najee Harris in the first, or Travis Etienne in the first, could be really, really good picks for this team. You can take your left tackle in the first, maybe. Maybe you take a left tackle in the first, and then you take another running back in the second, but I just feel like you're missing on a lot of talent if you pass up on Najee or Etienne in the first round. And remember, like I said, I think this is a very deep draft at the offensive line position. I feel like it's a decently deep draft at the running back position. If you didn't take a really good talent as a running back and take a pretty dang good talent at left tackle that can develop over the years, that's what I do. I take the best running back on the board, and I take one of the very good. I mean, there's a bunch of good tackles this year. You take one of the very good tackles, and you see how it is. I think that that's a guideline for success for the Steelers team. Guys, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to go back and watch our salary review video where we make some of these projections there. Most of them that we made today were from there. So you can go and look at your financial situation. Remember to add $10 million to the salary cap. Has increased by 10 at least to this point. That's all. Got high hopes for you Steelers teams. I'm a fan of you guys. I do want to see Big Ben succeed one more time. I want to see that guy just win another ring. He deserves it. Guy's been around, and he's taking a big pay cut, so I'm happy for the guy. Hopefully he takes as big as a pay cut as I predicted here. Guys, that's all. We'll see you guys soon. Jackson, we are
Built better.
See you guys soon. Peace.